Hello everyone, it's July 8th. Welcome to the Topherspin Meteorites Meteorite Crew Hangout. Once again, we have the usual suspects, and we're just going to jump into it. We got a little show and tell to do today, and hopefully some stories. I just got through telling a story, but that was for private community only. Who would like to go first? I think, Kristen, did you have something on standby, you said? And he's on mute.
Okay, we spoke recently, I think it was yesterday, and you said bring that meteorite and show it. And I think it was the Mundrabilla. So let me turn the camera around here.
And I'm glad we have Mike Kelly in the crowd too, because he's gonna have more intelligent feedback than I will, I think.
So, okay, you guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
All right. So there's a smaller piece. I got this. This is from Andrei Jerikov, and I've heard his name around a couple of times and ordered from him. He's all the way in Lithuania, so things take quite a bit of time to arrive, but
he has a good presence on eBay.
Yeah.
That
Topher, you had something to say about the crystal structure here.
Well, when I looked at it with you, when you first showed me, like, there you go, like, that's awesome. That's beautiful, man. God, Mundrabilla, all irons are just totally unique. If you look at this, you almost see two race strips or landing track going down near the end. But on the side closest to us, you have like hash marks, and it looks like there's two different lithologies here. And I'm wondering if that was two pieces of Mundrabilla smashing against each other and melding together, or is that a shock feature?
Yeah, when I looked at it from a certain angle, it looks like there are certain crystals that have been knocked out, or they've broken along a plane that's, you know, at least maybe a millimeter from the main surface. And it's kind of hard to tell, but it almost looks like like you said, you know, shock. Maybe they were impacted and they slipped.
So my hypothesis, again, when we were chatting yesterday on those voids were, and I'm going to unspotlight you for 1 second. We'll come right back probably.
Sure.
My hypothesis was, and I'm open for suggestions or corrections. This is just a hypothesis. Was, as you know, the metal is just crystals, and they're not aligned, so they're crisscrossing. They're at all different angles. But when you have those crystals like that, and you zip it and cut it, you might cut and just have a little bit of a nub of I don't know, and just have a little bit of a crystal edge, the edge of a crystal sticking up, and then through the cutting process that falls off. That was my hypothesis.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, and you know, I didn't notice it before, but over here in the lower left area, there's obviously larger crystals. They don't shine from every angle as much as the neighboring crystals, but looking closely, there's another, you know, there's another depth to crystals there. There's more patterns. I don't know what's going on with my phone here. Can you guys see still?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's definitely more crystals in here, at least some kind of pattern going on that's not immediately obvious, but really nice, yeah.
And that's
this is the back of it.
A 10-gram piece?
It's 13.
13?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like two pieces smushed together. On the outside, I don't see any defining lines. It just looks like one blob.
Right, yeah. And just for reference, here's, what was that?
That's right,
here's another piece. of Mundrabilla from a friend of mine. And yeah, very similar. Has that same sort of red oxide appearance. Not too shiny, a little bit in the corner, but yeah.
That's pretty
Very
cool.
interesting.
That's the second Australian meteorite we've talked about today.
Cool. So one thing that's really interesting.
Whoops.
One thing that's really interesting about Mundrabilla is if you look at larger pieces, some significant fraction of the bulk of the thing are sulfides or don't know exactly what, probably trilolite. And at the surface, those preferentially etch away. And so within an individual metal part, you should have contiguous Widmerstatten patterns. But Topher, I think your idea is a good one in that if one of these sulfite nodules had weathered or broken or what have you, and all of these things experience some collisions on the way to an Earth-crossing orbit. So I think that's quite possibly what's happening. The lower area that had the two very visible stripes and little cross-hatch stuff by it, that I think is just a very fortuitous angle of cut through the Widmerstatten pattern, but definitely a very interesting piece. And also, in that area that looked like there were little voids, there were definitely some open fracture lines. And that's the area of weakness is between the taenite and camosite grains, and so very possible for meteorites to crack along those planes.
Sweet.
Interesting. I'm glad I brought it to share. I mean, like from the surface, there's no significant flaw or sign that there's any sort of crack or structural weakness.
True.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really cool piece because it's not massive, Mundrabilla, I'm just going to be, out there, like Mundrabilla, maybe $5 a gram, if that. And you're talking about a 13-gram piece, but you look at it with all of that, and the deeper you go, the more you see. Hey, Travis Rouser's on the line with us.
Hey, buddy.
First time in the PM with this guy.
I know, I don't have long. I have about half hour, but I wanted to catch the family.
Oh, hey, well, you know what? If you want, I can show you the repair I did on that Esquel.
That's up to you. I don't want to take over the video. I just thought I'd pop in and say hi to everybody.
It's a beautiful meteorite, so I don't mind showing it off before I send it back in a couple days.
Okay.
Yeah, check
this
this
out.
out.
The situation.
What's that?
Sorry about all that. That is a crazy learning experience for me.
Yeah.
Very, very important learning experience for me.
Yeah, meteorites are a learning process, but this is just a great example of an Esquel and clumsy fingers. So it's a beautiful, beautiful piece.
Wow.
Esquel is a Pallasite main group from Argentina, and
I've been calling that thing wrong. I've been saying Esquel.
No, well, depending on who you're talking to and where they're from. But I'm actually holding it the wrong way. You should be holding it like this from now on. Because unfortunately earlier, now this is Esquel. This is a really highly sought after meteorite. As you can see, it's been highly polished, not etched. So it's not going to show any Widmerstatten pattern. But and Travis, so you know, these are replayed on YouTube, so I try to explain things a little bit more than just for the Met community.
Sure. Nope.
So what you're seeing is you're not seeing any Widmerstatten pattern that we just saw on the Mundrabilla, but it is there. It is present.
Oh, it is there?
It is there. It is present. You just need to acid etch it. But earlier when I was trying to clean it because it had a sticker on it, I was trying
I
to.
That. I didn't want to touch that for you.
I was trying to clean it, and unfortunately that happened.
It looks beautiful.
It
looks beautiful.
It
And I'm
drops.
certainly a person that drops. Man, I dropped a meteorite in my head before. By
Oh,
accident.
dude, it dropped and hit everything in slow motion as it was falling. I was trying to catch it, and I tried to lessen the impact as much as possible. But from the front face, you can see the repair a little bit more than, I'm sorry, from the back face. From the front
That
face,
is an absolutely gorgeous meteorite.
yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from this side when you're looking dead at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely a gorgeous meteorite.
Yeah.
What's really unique is the
That
fractures.
Oh,
Well,
I was wondering about that iron circle. That really, I really like that.
I don't know if that is an iron circle
Or what that was.
maybe it is.
That's weird.
Yeah, I was thinking it might have been an air bubble in a top coat sealant.
It's a little bleb of metal sticking in when it was cut. I got a couple pieces of Samchen like that.
That is spectacular. Yeah, so this is, look at those crystals all close up. Just a gorgeous, 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 gorgeous meteorite. This right here is the space gem, the queen of them. So yeah, it'll probably take me 2 days before I get it in the mail to you, but that's coming back at you, man.
And there's no rush at all, man. No rush at all.
All right.
I apologize again for that situation.
Things happen, man.
Yeah.
I had a heart attack when I dropped it. I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
Do you have anything you want to show off while you're here for limited time, Travis?
I have the PA thing here. Let me get a flashlight on it here so you guys can see. I emptied one of these record cases here, and now I have my PAs in a nice little container here. My goal now is to get the labels a little. My handwriting is atrocious, so and my dad made these nice labels on the top here. Let me get a better. Too bright here. Okay, move the so Mountain Joy and New Baltimore at the top. They have the good labels that my dad made, but I don't like that little handwritten label for my bald eagle. So I'd like to get rid of that, and I'm in the process of making the case look as nice as possible. I'm removing the COAs of everything, and I'm actually putting them in an envelope and getting a little more organized with my collection.
And you focus, because you're in Pennsylvania, you focus mainly on Pennsylvania Falls?
Hi everybody, by the way. I do love the Pennsylvania Falls a lot. And unfortunately, I don't think I own any of them at this point. Up in the air with one of them right now. It's under investigation, but I only own, I do.
I was going to say bald eagle.
Yeah, that's the one that really completed the circuit for me. When Bald Eagle returns, Mendy is doing a tremendous job of cleaning. He's doing an absolutely great job, thorough clean. And when it comes back in a couple months, I'm going to be excited to see what it looks like.
Nice. Right on, man.
How was everybody? How was everybody here?
Good. How are you, Travis?
I'm good, Oz, man. I will hit the post office for you tomorrow for that stuff.
Cool.
Very excited for that.
Good to see you, Travis.
Oh, hey, Roberto. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. I kept meaning to make one of these evening meetings.
I'm glad you cleared up that question about whether that end cut was a Esquel or not.
It was bugging me all day. I've been polishing Huckity out the side, thinking it was a Esquel. Meanwhile, the Huckity looked Huckity looks just like Huckity.
Yeah.
I was polishing it up for no reason.
But it's just really weird that I've handled several thousand meteorites in the last couple years, and I really don't have clumsy fingers, and I really don't drop things. But we've had a little run lately. My wife dropped a Brahin while we did a live sale. Then I dropped the Esquel today.
Ooh.
This is a piece of a rare, again, we're on Australia for some reason today, but this is a rare, and I do have it labeled rare because it is rare, Molong from Australia. Yeah, you can see it's a little bit pricey, but the buyer actually, after he paid me for it, asked me if I would touch it up for him and give it a nice cleaning. It had a little bit of signs of oxidation, so I wanted to get in there and make it stable for him. And I ended up having to remove, in order to save the piece, I had to destroy the piece, if that makes sense. So unfortunately, this entire cavity, all in here, underneath all the olivines, all in between all the metal, was just rusted out and oxidized. So that was removed, and unfortunately will not be going back into the piece. But because it's so rare, I gave him a hell of a discount, basically under my cost, if he was still interested in it, because he is a Australian collector and super wanted Molong. It was a hard one for him to get. So he's not happy that it broke, but it opens up an opportunity for him to bribe one of his Australian mates with this piece. So, hey, things happen, things break, you drop things, you move on. You know, at least it wasn't like Mike Farmer's big spring water that he dropped last month.
Really?
Spring water dropped. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he dropped a really big spring water and was able to make
Yes.
make slices available for people, which you normally don't see. All right. Who's got something to show off?
I'll try something.
I got some.
Well, let's go with Oz. He jumped in first. I love having people fight. Go for Oz, man. You're up, home doggies.
It doesn't look like this want me to share the screen.
Oh.
I see that.
Yeah, when you hit the screen share, hit advanced sharing options. No, maybe not.
Okay, yeah, my computer froze up, so.
All right. Well, let's go to someone else. Who's next?
I'll go.
All right.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, hold on a second. There you go. Oh, hey, we're looking at Oz's screen.
Okay.
Awesome. Stole ya. All right, fine. Oz, go for it, my man.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're having.
Internet issues. Dang. I think Oz is suffering from internet connectivity disease. Let's go ahead and let's turn you on as
Of all those colors, believe it or not.
We can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't?
Oz, we couldn't hear you speaking for a while, and now we can't really see your screen, and we're just looking at a black screen.
All right, I'm going to back out. I'll figure it out.
Okay. If you would stop sharing, and I'll put Roberto on.
Old Windows 7.
Topher, you're just gonna have to use your admin powers.
I'm trying it. Let me see here. Yes.
I should be back off.
There we go.
Okay, yeah, you're back to normal now.
Sweet.
What's up,
Roberto
guys?
in the house, everybody.
How's it going?
Really well. Good to see you, man.
Good.
How's it going?
So I haven't been on for the past like 3 weeks, just cause like I forget that it's Wednesday and then like shit happens. But I've got some things to show off.
Yeah. The 2020.
So This is Mangi, I think it's pronounced Mangui, whatever.
Oh, Shishuabanana.
Yeah, it's got a weird name, but it's from China. It fell in 2017, I think.
Oh man.
No, 2018. June 1st, 2018. So basically it's got a real nice crust on it.
That's beautiful.
Really fresh, and it's got the prayer cloth.
Is that the original blanket it was on when it came out?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
that is slick.
Yep.
That is slick. Dude, quick question about that case. Is the lid removable?
Yes.
Hey, why don't you give it a shot?
Hold on.
You can't tease us with fresh crust and then not show it. That burlap sap or that canvas thing. Oh,
What's
is
the
nice.
burlap sap from, if I may ask?
It's a prayer cloth. So basically, when the locals started going through and collecting it, they used pieces of like a prayer cloth to collect it in, and this is basically the prayer cloth from that area, from that little
amazing.
Yeah. So that adds to the story of the meteorite as well, because you realize how special that rock is to the natives there, and it also inculcates some of their traditions into it, and a lot of the, I wouldn't call them in situ pictures, but a lot of the on location pictures all show the meteorite sitting on those prayer cloths, prayer rugs. So that's awesome.
And Rob Wessel did a good job when he brought them. He brought a lot into the market out here. This one was originally a Rob piece. When he brought them in, he got most of his pieces with the cloth, and even some with the prayer candles, because the locals did see it as like a like a metaphysical type occurrence that occurred in their little town.
An omen?
Yeah, an omen, exactly.
That is really cool.
That's
that. The crust on that thing is gorgeous.
Yeah, right. A lot of pieces didn't have crust, so I was really psyched to grab that, and I got that from Derek Eust. Derek Eust has recently been posting a lot of really good pieces. This is another piece I got from Derek. This is Peekskill.
Oh my goodness!
So the rock that this was sliced from slammed into
Almost
a car in New York.
Almost a PE meteorite. Almost. The Steelers game over NPA saw it up north. They saw it. A very famous video shot was shot in PA, but it never landed here.
Yep. There's a video of this meteorite coming in through the atmosphere over a baseball game. It's a really, really cool video. The piece that this was cut from actually had red paint on it from where it hit the car. So
dang.
Right. I've seen a video from when they interview the girl who that car belonged to, and for being from so long ago, several decades ago, she was really open-minded and psyched about this being from outer space, and being from a different planet, from different part of space, so old, and everyone was just in shock from it. Yeah.
That Chevy Malibu that this hit, she purchased for $400 in like 1992, and it's currently I think Derek Pitts owns it, and he's got it like insured for $1 million now. So
that is nuts. And
yeah, I actually went to the main Gem and Mineral Museum, and most of the meteorites there were acquired by Derek Pitts and sold to the guy who owns the collection. Forgot what his first name is. His last name is Stifler. But at the museum, they actually have the title of the 92 Chevy Malibu.
That is
So-
an amazing piece of history. And honestly, Roberto, that is the biggest slice of Peekskill that I've seen in like one of my friends' hands, and
Yeah.
I don't want to say in private collection, but in one of my friends' collection, and
Yeah.
it's crusted, and it is the actual hammerstone.
Look at the thickness of that
That's
crust
beautiful. I
too.
know.
I love that boundary.
Yeah.
I have a big fondness of the boundary and how thin it is.
Yeah.
That was just one of the first things I was surprised about when I first saw a meteorite slice.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people who are not in the meteorite community in the know don't understand, that the ablation period, the flaming flight period is so short, and the material's sloughing off constantly, that it doesn't build a thick. If you can show that one more time, Roberto, it really doesn't have time to build up a thick outer fusion crust, nor
Yeah.
does that the heat penetrate into the rock very far itself. Beautiful
Wow.
example.
Yeah, that is.
I'm pretty sure it was 2 years ago. The car was actually in the Telus Science Museum in Georgia, and it was cool because I mean it was just parked on the floor. It just had a chain around it. Like I got to lean over the hole and look down through it. It was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Oh my
So
God.
was it insured for $1 million in case it gets hit again by another meteorite?
If
No,
that,
I think
if that car got hit again, holy crap! I couldn't even imagine.
I want a meteorite collection to get hit.
yeah, right.
Cameron, was there any thought in your mind at all about looking for a loose fleck of paint?
I mean, I kind of did, kind of scan the floor around just to see if I saw anything.
You did lean over and put your finger in the hole.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Hey,
I
Jody.
took a lot of pictures.
Hey.
Oh man, that is really cool. Okay.
Those flecks of paint are expensive. I've seen them. That looks like the United States.
Yep. New York.
Estherville.
Another witness fall. Another U.S. witness fall. It's a pretty cool Mesosiderite.
It is a very beautiful stone. I have a slice too, and I look at it all the time. The proxene in it and the hunks of metal.
Here's a question. Is that like could one call that like the observed fall fresh version of Vaca Muerta?
Yeah, basically.
That's beautiful.
Because it's a Mesosiderite, so.
Yeah,
I love comparing weathered versions with fresh versions of the same thing.
Yeah, and this came from Ann Black, so.
Wow.
She cut me in.
Price lag.
She actually cut me a really nice deal on this. So.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks, Ann. If you're watching, I don't know if she watches these. But...
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then last but not least,
this is cool.
The latest and greatest, I guess.
Yes.
The 2020 ungrouped Achondrite. So I could never be a dealer. I never want to be a dealer. I'm a hoarder, if you will. I'll get a small piece as a placeholder, and then I'll get a bigger piece, and I'll never sell the smaller piece because I've upgraded Abapanu like 6 times. I've got every single piece. So same thing with Viñales. Got like 8 pieces of Viñales. I bought it at every price point. When it was 20, I bought it. When it was 16, I bought it. When it was 10, I bought it. And I've got like a half a kilo of it somewhere. So, so I bought 100 grams of this material, and I'm keeping 50. I'm keeping 50 grams of it. These are my keepers. This one is an end cut.
Now, for those that don't know, a chondrite is not a chondrite. It is usually a like all the I don't know where the echoing is coming from. Like all Mars and Martian and Lunar and the HEDs, they're all achondrites. Now, this is a brand newly discovered achondrite, but it doesn't fall in any group yet.
Yep.
It's currently being classified. Look at that. The hell is that?
A lot of people said not a meteorite.
Oh, it is definitely a meteorite.
Definitely
It is
a meteorite.
definitely. That is beautiful.
Yeah. So I saw this and I had to keep it. This was the largest slice that I got back. I saw that and I had to keep it. It looks like camo, right?
It looks like camo.
Yeah.
Good grief. Is there any translucency? I can't tell how thick it is.
It's pretty thick.
Oh, it's pretty thick. That's a nice slice.
Yeah, I had it cut at 2.5 to 3 millimeters, so I went kind of thick with it.
Wow.
Just because this was actually like the first to make it to the U.S. I think it was part of Mark's lot.
That is gorgeous.
We weren't sure how friable it was, so I just wanted to make sure that we had nice, sturdy, non-breakable slices.
Mm-hmm.
So I went a little thick with it, but it turns out that it's actually pretty stable.
It's dead sexy, buddy.
Yeah. So and then this one, I kind of like the shape of it. Cute little button.
Yeah.
Like a little oval egg shaped.
The UFO.
Or egg. And then these three are actually on eBay right now. Shameless plug. They're like at $112, $115 each right now. So
and just to give everyone an idea, this is so new. It's being classified right now. The universities are being so close-lipped with it. I just had a phone conversation with Michael Farmer, and he can't even get information out of Karen Ziegler. So they're being as close-lipped as possible. This is the hottest meteorite on Earth right now.
Very exciting.
The first slices that were sold at $200 to $250 a gram. The ones you have right now in front of us are on eBay. If anyone's watching live or the replay tonight, still bid on them.
They got 2 days left. And these are, I'll show you the weights right now, but we got a 3.7, a 3.3, and a 3.6. So
see,
those are, affordable options for people, because I've seen a lot of like 30-gram monsters, and that's 17 gram that's not going anywhere now. And
wow, those are gorgeous, man.
What are those called?
This is the ungrouped Achondrite, so it's currently under classification. I labeled them as NWA XXX, but it's gonna get a name and a number very.
I saw a weird number. That the first part of it started with an A, and then the second part was River. I don't know if that is gonna turn into.
I guess for people who want to look it up on eBay, I'm gonna look more into it, and sounds interesting.
Very excited for your piece that is on the way. By the way, Roberto, I want to say that I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, that shipped out this morning. It's great. It's got a lot of
the exterior is what I like.
Exterior,
I love the exterior on meteorites.
That is gorgeous. So the thing is, the universities, no one has seen anything like this material before. The universities don't know the parent body. I don't know why you're still pinned. Oh, okay. Yeah, so the universities don't know where the parent body is yet, and they've not seen anything like it yet. They're not releasing the oxygen isotope results yet. Not that I paid for them, so I won't get them first, but I'm really anxious to see where it charts out. Pat?
It's also very interesting. Jason Utah has some slices about 1.5 millimeters thick on eBay right now that are translucent. And he's got a couple of them with light showing through them that are very pretty.
Yeah. a
I
four.
had something else to share.
Oh, go ahead. A 4 kilo chunk of it just left. A 4 kilo hunk of the new ungrouped Achondrite just left Chandler on its way to Marlin to get cut.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Marlin just cut these.
And that's the 4 kilo one is the one that you've all seen with the humongous line of crystals on the exterior.
Yeah.
What?
So this is a photo of the dry lake bed, unnamed. One of the places that I'm jonesing to go see again. And
Hunting turf.
I'm a electronic engineer, and so I, been dealing with electronic parts all my life. On one of those dry lake beds, I was walking along looking for meteorites, and what do I find?
A space battery.
Quartz crystal in a can.
Oh yeah, like a piezo oscillator, a quartz crystal.
Exactly, yeah. Quartz crystal for piezoelectric oscillation. And so the dry lake beds in Nevada are all part of what they call the high range. And they are used as emergency landing sites for research aircraft and occasionally crash sites.
Wow.
From aircraft. So this one is aluminum. I have found pieces of titanium, but the pickup was so full I didn't bring them back. So that's one of the pieces that I found. And then after looking some more on one of the dry lake beds, you're not going to be able to read it probably, but this is an aircraft modification tag off of a A8 U1 fighter, and it's got the serial numbers and such on. I'm still working on tracking it. And then we were talking about Mundrabilla. Here's how well this will focus. Not real well, but there's a little piece of Mundrabilla. The tag's actually more interesting than the meteorite. It's a dated new meteorite, one of the first ones that I bought actually. And then if I can share my screen, advanced portions. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Here we go. So here is a photo of Mundrabilla, and you can see all of the silicate stuff in between the blobs of iron. And so how can I get control? Here's another one etched that's up closer, and you'll notice there are a number of disturbed Bimnstraten patterns, and even some little black spots that could be where actual metal has been lost from the surface. Here's another small one. I think this was from KD meteorites, but you can see here cracks along the taenite camosite boundaries, and odd looking Bimnstraten pattern. And again, here this one has a chunk that fell out, and they're definitely Bimnstraten patterns. And within one little area, they have the proper geometry, but you can see that they're separate regions.
Yeah.
That are
boundaries.
That they're somehow smashed together. So there's that's a contiguous region. This is probably a different region. This one they sliced right along the taenite plates in that region. And then there's just a few more here. So Topher, I emailed this. Yeah, that's a really interesting one.
That one really shows the just flow and power.
Yeah.
Huge impact.
So I emailed this to your Gmail account.
Sweet, thank you.
I'm gonna have to head out, everybody.
All right.
Okay.
Give a quick check-in. I hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, man. Hey, Travis, good having you with us, man. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime. I will talk to you all, obviously, very soon. Keep in touch. Thank you, Pat, for a great demonstration. Have a good one, everybody.
See you, man.
Yeah. And this chondrule is one of the ones out of the freshly classified. I don't have the number in front of me. I think it's 13451. Anyhow, it's the oxidized CB3 that Stephen sold. Okay, and I think you got control again, Topher.
Yep. Nice.
Okay.
All right. Who's got something to show off? Kyle, you got something there? You're muted.
Let me get my phone logged in. I got something more of a what do you guys think type thing. But let me get my phone logged in and here in a second I'll talk back.
Okay. In the meantime, I have something that is Oz's. You know I'm going to show, right?
Please do.
I got to find out where I put it all. Oh, here it is. Yeah. By the way, Sean Mahoney from Outer Spacer was wanted me to send his love to everyone and say hello to everyone. He's in Spain. It's like 3:30, 4:30, 4 o'clock in the morning right now, and he couldn't stay up with us. But I told him we were going to give him a little shout out and show off something he's super excited about. So this is for Oz. Of course, I always want to give as much provenance as possible. Sean does a really nice job, and I didn't put it back very well, but he does a really good job with extras, some magnets, business cards, pen, nice card in there. All his COAs are handwritten. They're stamped and signed and individually wrapped. So, I mean, total professional job. Now, let me show you what we're talking about. Again, this is some really, really new material. So new that it's not even classified yet. We're looking at a Winonaite. And what's interesting about it is this is your standard Winonaite. There's not much, hold on, let me get it out of the bag. No, I'm not going to because it's so nicely sealed. But you can see that is the normal, there's not much metal. Well, Sean happened to have some that is truly spectacular. High metal yielding Winonaite.
That's nice.
It's getting classified right now. And as Oz pointed out to me last night, it looks like this is a guy with his head here, his body, and his legs, and he's kicking some type of deer or something. Anyway, but this is a high metal Winonaite that's being classified. Of the 900 grams that there are, 700 grams is all low metal, 200 grams is the high metal, and of the 200 grams, There's a 42-gram piece that may be one of the largest Winonaites ever. There's an 8-gram, a 6-gram, and everything else is the size of your pinky nail and can't be sliced. So these slices that we have here are extremely rare. And I got a few of them for myself as well. So I'm really happy that we jumped on them. Yeah. And Sean Mahoney at Outer Spacer has it. So if you want some, now's the time to get them. Because when it's classified, he's probably going to want a little bit more money. But really cool stuff and a top-notch job from Outer Spacer Meteorites. And that's our buddy Sean Mahoney in Spain.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, I don't have any Winonaites yet, so I really can't. I don't have anything to compare it to, but I'll be doing more research onto it. Kyle, you ready?
Yeah. Am I unmuted?
Yep.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, let's see if I can get this thing in focus here. Not so much. If you look at it, it looks like there's escaping gas vesicles there in this piece. But it came in a box of stuff that I bought. And as you can see, there's definitely metal flakes all through it. And it's more than slightly attracted to a magnet, but not. But not heavily attracted, maybe is a better way to say it. Now there you go, you can start seeing those holes there. But anyhow, I'm sorry that it's out of focus, guys. It's just not doing me justice here.
To me, it looks like a very weathered chondrite.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking is too. It was just funny to me that it had, that looks like the gas vesicles coming off of it. But I'm gonna cut it up regardless.
Yes.
And see what's going on, unless somebody was to say, "Oh, don't do that." So I don't think it's anything too special. It was just weird to me.
Yeah. So an alternate explanation for the semicircular little divots there. Now, don't tell anybody on is it a meteorite or meteorite, or won't be able to live it down for 5 years. Expanding gas bubbles are not found in meteorites, but oftentimes, especially in ones that are weathered, chondrules will fall out and they will leave essentially a chondrule socket. So, Kyle, I believe from what we can see, I believe that that's what you got there. So I agree, it looks like an ordinary chondrite. And I can see little bits of metal on the tips that are burnished.
And I don't know how well this is going to come through, but this is definitely ordinary chondrite. And I wish I could get.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, good photo.
But guys, let me tell you what. I'm right here. The camera is just not doing it justice. But these pieces are amazing because if you're just sitting here looking at them, I don't know if I can make them shine, but my goodness, you can't hardly look at it in your hand without just being blinded by the metal. And I know it's not showing up here and it looks just like any old regular thing, but if it was in your hand, oh, I'm looking up here. Okay. What I'm seeing on my phone and what you guys are seeing, probably two different things. But anyhow, it's just loaded with metal. And like I say, it doesn't really do it justice here. But anyhow, they were just really nice looking if they view it in person. And that's really all I got for tonight. But I'd like to add to that Sean thing. I have quite a bit of that Winonaite myself, actually. And I'm the mass.
Yeah, that's right. You did get a bunch of that too, didn't you?
Yeah. No, And I've got some that's still hung up in the mail too. But I've got some pretty nice stuff. But I'm holding on till it's done being classified and make sure everything is what it says, you know, what we think it is, 100%. And I believe 100% it is. It's just I'm going to be better safe than sorry. But
Is
it's
any,
really nice and
any,
really rare.
that is some nice looking stuff though, man.
Yeah. Like I say, if you really could see it, you'd understand how badass it is. But anyhow,
yeah.
Enough of these.
Anyone got something? Because
I got something for you, Topher.
There you go, Mr. Kelly in the office. Go for it.
It's not big, and you know me, most of my stuff is not big, and it's sticking with the Winonaite trend, right?
Oh, the namesake.
That is the type fall for the Winonaite. So that's a couple little pieces I picked up off of Gary of Big Kahuna a while back.
So
One of the things I'm doing is going after as many of the type falls as I can get. And I just this week finished off the carbonaceous type falls. I finally got a tiny bit of Renazzo on the way from Italy. So that's all of the carbonaceous type falls now that I can get, and I'm short basically the three impossibles at this point: Burkina, Kakangari, and Rumarudi, which have fun ever finding those ones.
Jeez. Wow.
But,
Winona was buried, right? It was buried like in.
Yeah, it was found in a Native American site, and it was basically given like the same honors like a child, as far as burial goes, and it was placed in a little cyst.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then tying into what Kyle was doing with cutting little stuff. This was just a little one that I cut the other day, but the inside turned out to be
nice,
pretty nice. With a little bit of a dual lithology in there. It's just it's small though, so it's not, it'll sit in the collection as an unclassified. Just practice for cutting.
It's a nice pebble cut right down the middle that impacted in there. Oh, you got some crust too, huh?
A little bit of crust on the outside still. So two little small ones, and then of course, good day at the mailbox. Remember that one, right, Topher?
Oh yeah.
I got my bits in from Topher's live sale. The 3 chilies that I'm going to end up using for my my carrot display, which I played around with inserting the magnets that I'm going to have these attached to, so that they don't move around on the display. Got those in place the other day. Shout out, Roberto already showed his stuff. Shout out to Roberto there.
Yeah, a little ungrouped Achondrite.
And then, the majority of what I'm supposed to be doing is subtype collecting. That was my goal in life. So that is a little 0.83 of Topher 008. So
wow,
L3.3. I think there's a little over 2 dozen of those out there for totals. It's got a couple nice chondrites sitting in there.
Yeah, it does.
A little bit of crust. And then a little bit of a little individual, kind of like a shield shape of Mulga North from Australia.
What's that classified as? I never even heard of it.
That's an H5. Yeah, it's an H5, and it's actually an interesting strewn field because there's Mulga North, Mulga East, and Mulga West, and they're all also in a line with one of the Donga classifications, not Camel Donga, but one of the other ones.
Big Donga Rock, Donga Rock, or something like that.
Yeah. So it's kind of an interesting area too, kind of like some of the other strewn fields where you end up with 3 or 4 different types of meteorites all found in the same area.
Yeah, I dearly love to hunt the nullarbor. The problem though is with exporting Australian meteorites. Back in the old days, that's where many of our meteorites came from, and many of the lower cost ones came from Australia. But with the new export rules, not so available anymore.
Well, it seems like Australia is a running theme. So I have a couple more. I have some Australians I can show off.
Go for it, man. This is awesome.
So there's Tenham, which is a pretty old Witness Fall. I think that's a Jim Schwade number. It's got Jim Schwade provenance, so I'm guessing that's a Jim Schwade number. At first, I thought it might have been like a museum number, but I mean, it's good provenance. Jim Schwade's got had a hell of a collection. Fully crusted, and this is like really. Daniel Sheik really likes this material. It's got like Bridgmanite and some other stuff that I can't pronounce. Don't really know a lot about. So that's like 18 grams. I got that from Mendy. There's
That's
my
a beautiful
Mundrabilla.
shape.
That's my Mundrabilla right there.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's
Looks like a shoulder blade of a chicken.
Right? Or like a pterodactyl.
Wow, yeah, it's a great shape one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does look like a dinosaur pterodactyl. That's pretty cool. It's awesome. Interesting, like light color and variation on there.
Yeah. I don't know if you call it, that's caliche, right? I don't know.
I can't
But,
see.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, it's caliche. Yep.
My Millbilly.
And the yep, and the red color on that one is caliche as well.
Wow,
Rollover lipping.
that is a gorgeous Millibilly.
Yeah.
Is the red on Millbilly caliche, or is it more the soil there?
I thought it was clay.
Well, it's the soil, but caliche technically is a type of soil, and it is the soil that fairly tenaciously holds on. So in some sense, caliche is a word that covers many types of soil, but that's how it's described in the literature on Mundrabilla is caliche.
Gotcha. Now I'm interested in whacking it with a black light and seeing if it reacts.
Oh, Camel Donga.
Camel Donga.
That's a big one.
This one came from the university or the Museum of Perth in Australia.
Wow.
And you can see a little bit of, you can see the inside.
Dude, that's huge.
I love the crust on this material.
Oh my God.
Very nice piece.
Dude, nice provenance on it too.
Yeah. I got this from Kitty Kilgore. I think it's Midwest Meteorite Labs or something like that.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. I have some Camel Donga for sale, but nothing that big, nothing that nice, and nothing that provenance.
Yeah, that's Meteorite. That's Tucson Meteorite Show 2020 pickup.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
I'm a sucker for anything with a catalog number on it.
Right. So since we were all talking about Australia.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Hey, Topher.
Yeah.
I want to share my screen right quick, show y'all what I got coming on the way. Let's see here. Can y'all see that?
Yep. Oh, man. Is that the Winonaite?
Yeah, that's the stuff that's hung up. I'm fixing to have it reshipped. It came back, and I'm sending it another route to get it over here. But yeah, no, that's some good high metal there.
Wow.
That's the best of it, guys. What I can tell, there is no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. especially of this high quality, high metal.
No doubt. Sean said he sent the hunters out there multiple times, and they picked it dry. There was nothing left, and
Yeah,
everything.
not even crumbs. They
What's
were
that?
jagged magnets.
Yeah.
You know, for the tiny pieces.
Wow.
Coming up with. Yeah.
Dude,
that's awesome stuff, man.
That top one is solid metal almost, man.
Pretty much. I'm happy that I was able to obtain those.
Yeah.
They're not quite as big as they look in that picture, but it's still good material nonetheless.
No doubt.
So, anyhow, I just wanted to show.
Well, I just got a box from Matt Stream. We always like to plug our buddies. So Matt Stream is with Streaming Meteorites, and it's just funny because look what the first one is. It's like the Mundrabilla show. I'm going to be timestamping this on YouTube, and it's going to be Mundrabilla everywhere. But I just got a little small one here. Just got to keep little small ones in stock for people, but it's beautiful stuff.
That's
a very cool one.
Yeah, that's got some cool Winsmat in there.
Oh, those
distortion.
So
that
the fractures at the grain boundary between the Tandakht and Camosite, and then here the Vidmastraten pattern is bent.
Yeah, this whole thing is just bent down here. So that's a cool little what is it? Little 5.5 grams. Then because I wanted to compare my high metal Winonaite, I got this one, little just under a gram, NWA 12998. We're gonna have to take it out in order to see it. And there's only a small surface on it, but you can see there's a tiny bit of metal in it, or maybe, yeah. But I'll look at this under the microscope and compare it to the other one to see how different it is. But that is a normal Winonaite with nice crust. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to.
That crust is beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted to get a nice internal, a full slice, but when I saw this one available with crust on the outside, I was like, yeah, got me at crusty. All right, now.
Very cool.
The next one that I have is even, let me see here, even more rare, I believe. We hope. It's, whoa, that's really zoomed in. This is a probable Ureilite. And the reason it's not, it says probable is it's not classified. So this is a non-classified meteorite that has already had another COA from a reputable dealer saying it's an Achondrite. But this is my first individual Ureilite.
That's nice.
I'm thinking I want to cut it and see what's on the inside, but it's just gorgeous. Look at this is
full of diamonds and a blade destroyer.
Do it live on the stream. Do it live.
Ureilites are notoriously difficult to cut.
It is
blade destroyers.
It is heavy as a freaking brick. I'm telling you, man, it's really, really dense. We're only talking about that small, and it's 14 grams.
Wow.
And because it is
that's like the size of the Mundrabilla I just showed.
Yeah, but this is just unique. I want to look at this under magnification. Like I said, I just opened this up. So this is my first sizable Ureilite for me to study, take a look at, personal collection. Then the next thing is one of my favorites. Love Mesosiderite, and this is a really, really beautiful meso from Streaming Meteorites, Matthew Stream. So this is 48.5 grams, and just a thick, it definitely has a display side and a do not display side. This is the display side.
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Let me see here. Try to get the best zoom. That won't even zoom anymore. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So just a gorgeous meteorite, but I don't really know what happened on this side. Like they got 99% of the way through cutting. That's good enough. Just leave it the way it is. So I don't know if I'm going to recut that or not. I probably should take that off, but Mesositerites are gorgeous. And these are usually half metal, half silica. So half stone, half metal. But
it reminds me a little of like Tesla. I don't know how you say it, Teslint or Teslilt.
Tessent. No, that's the Martian.
Yeah,
Telsent.
Yeah.
Telsent. Yeah, and the one that Craig just recently had.
Yeah.
Craig Lehman just had classified.
And this is unique. I like this. We have a nice little brown inclusion there. Then this whole structure in here is unique. Yeah, so that's going to be available for sale too soon. I like that a lot. Now this is what I bought the whole thing for. I wanted all that stuff, but this is the one.
I know what that is.
Do you? Do ya? So Witnessed Fall. I'm a sucker for Witnessed Falls.
214 grams, right?
Yeah, like he knows what it is. Oh, it's even more beautiful than I expected. Okay, we're going to start with the exposed side. Look at the crusted side.
Wow.
This is Tandakht. Is that how you say it? I'm pretty sure. Oh man, 200 grams of it, guys. And it's got great crust.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful crust.
And the matrix on this is beautiful. It's a darker matrix than you'd expect. I don't know. It's darker than I expected. But I am just super happy. So this is my Tandakht. Where's the COA? So this actually has a Tandakht. That's how I'm saying it. But this is from Tomasz Jablowski, and then through Matt Stream. So it's an H5, which means it's going to be highly magnetic. And it, oh geez, yeah, it definitely is. It pulled that magnet right, pulled my magnet right out of my hand. Boom. But I am super happy with this because this is private collection, not for resale. I've been watching and waiting this one for a while, wanting to make my move on it. And luckily, Roberto let me have it.
As soon as you shared it, I was like, damn, if I had only seen it first, but then it would have been a bidding war between you and me, and I would have let you have it.
And as a thank you, he included a really super cool piece of Moldavite jewelry for my wife. And seeing that my 10-year anniversary is Friday, I don't have to go shopping anymore. So that is my newest bag of tricks that I just got from my buddy Matt Stream. So a little bit of witnessed fall, some Winonaite, some iron, Mesosiderite, Ureilite, a little bit of everything. I'm happy with that box.
Topher, I know you you just got something from Matt. NWA 13185. I just got some from Matthew's stream. I was wondering if you're going to share any of that on the stream, because I got a small piece that I ordered, and I got it just a couple of days ago.
Let's see. I don't what's it classified as?
It's Lunar.
Oh, is that the troglodytic melt? Oh no, the dark Lunar.
Yes. Right. Lunar. Hold on, let me get some control over this camera. Okay. There we go. All right.
That's
So
nice.
it.
How big is that?
It's 0.885, I think.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's nice.
0.885, and here's the tag that comes with it.
That's great surface area for under a gram.
Yeah, actually, let me take this plastic lid off because it's. I mean, you know, direct sun is like the best to observe, but.
There you go. That's what we're talking about.
That's a beauty, and the clasts in it are nice and small. That's a lot of meteorite for less than a gram.
Yeah, that's
right.
unbelievable.
Yeah. It's fairly thin, but it's a good surface area.
Let's see the other side, please.
Yeah, sure.
You can't tease us, man. Turn it over 80% of the way and flip it back. Come on.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
I was just trying not to fall into the screen of the window, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta
just
get
don't
good,
drop it like
stance. Here we go. Oh yeah, I can't drop it. That'd be bad.
Wow. That's the moon, buddy.
It's got some shine to it. But yeah, and it's got an interesting texture on the outside when you see pieces, natural surfaces of the outside. It's very lustrous. It's sort of like a agate or a jade in a way. Not sure what else I could compare it to, but it has a definitely interesting color.
And it's so strange because Lunar is like the Feldspatria breccia is so white, like the anisort. Oh my God, I hate words.
Northite.
And Northite, thank you. It is, you know, so white and it's beautiful class and stuff. And then you have the polar opposite, a dark Lunar that is just full of chondrites, which is an achondrite. You shouldn't have chondrites.
Yeah, they're class, not chondrites. Yeah, that one's a low total known weight too. The Met Bull shows 300 grams.
Right.
Christian, check out your piece too, because in that classification, there's supposedly little glass spherules. You know, so in addition to the kind of darkish Northite class, there's also little beads in there if you get lucky and you find one.
Yeah, good point. I saw a listing this week that had substantially big, I mean, it was pretty transparent bead. I'd say it might have been, you know, 3 millimeters in diameter. Maybe that's way off, but from what I could tell, maybe 2, you know, somewhere around there, pretty big. And yeah, looked really cool. I've never seen something like that before, but.
Hey, Dustin Dickens in the house, everybody.
Hey there.
Hey guys.
So I think this is the same
What's up,
Lunar.
Dustin?
What was the number you were working with? 13256.
Yeah, it was 13185. Or
Oh,
were you talking about somebody else?
well, yeah, no, I have a different Lunar here. Let me put this one on.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Since Dustin just joined us and he has no idea what this is, let's put him on the spot. Dustin Dickens at Top Meteorites. Can you name this witnessed fall?
It's like carbonaceous of some kind, right?
Nope.
I'm joking because it was black. There was no picture for a while on my side.
Oh, so yeah, damn ding.
Okay.
So here's a different Lunar from Matt as well. This is 13286 or 56. I can't tell. It's kind of squished in there. But this is the I believe this is the fragment. Yeah, this is the 1 of 3 fragmental breccia.
Oh, nice. Really?
Let's turn it around without the shine.
Are you sure? I don't think that's the fragmental breccia.
I have Lunar fragmental
That's
breccia.
the feldspathic breccia.
Oh,
Yeah, the regolith fragmental breccias are the 1 and 3.
okay.
Only reason I know that is that I have all of those 3 classifications and they don't look anything like that.
You can't bullshit a bullshitter, huh? No.
No, I
No,
don't
I
know.
know. Dude,
Well, I mean, it is kind of like, really? I mean, is it regolith or isn't that? I mean,
yeah.
Dr. G would. be
So,
like,
yeah,
whatever.
so this, I actually can't even tell what number it is. 13286 maybe? But
Yes.
yeah.
But it's a
Feldspathic.
pretty badass looking Lunar.
Yeah.
It's one. I'm actually looking at eBay right now. He does have it as 13256 Lunar feldspathic fragmental breccia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fragmental breccia. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is my my little Lunar from him. Nice.
Beautiful.
Hey Dustin, what you got going on today, my man?
Not much. Just breaking up beautiful slices of ungrouped Achondrite so people can afford them.
Oh, you're working with the new ungrouped one?
Yeah.
How much of it do you have over there?
Right now, I just had 2 slices that I traded with Mark for some of the Ureilite, but I have another few hundred grams coming in and hopefully many kilos soon.
Nice. Do you know what the total known weight's going to be on that one?
My guess is somewhere between 40 and 70 kilos.
That much?
Well, I mean,
wow.
Here's my, not because I know that for a fact,
Yeah.
but because every time I guess, it's always more. So now it's like when I was contracting, you know, I never started making money until I would like absolutely max out what it could possibly, I thought anybody could stand to pay for and then I would double it because I didn't need the job. And it was only then that I would get the jobs, and it usually just about came out to right about that. So same thing with meteorites. I figure TKW, you know, like I thought the Lunar, there's no way it could be like 50 kilos, and there's no way it could be 100 kilos. And then I saw like a 60 kilo stone, and then, you know, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, there's like 300-400 kilos probably known of that stuff to exist.
We were talking earlier about Winonaite, high metal Winonaite. Have you had a chance to see that new stuff yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, we have a few slices of it here, so it's pretty
that's
cool.
Beautiful, beautiful material. And yeah, Winonaite. Those are one of the rare ones still. Like there's only like 4 types that are still rare in WA. I'm joking. I'm totally jaded. I say this only as somebody that, you know, has watched a lot of this stuff go from $500 to $1,000 a gram down to like, you know, 20 and 50 and 100 and let's go though.
I love putting the master to task. What do you think of this?
That kind of looks like Lunar a little bit. It looks kind of like a 11228 or something like that.
Sold to me as a Ureilite.
How far out? Could be. Very well. Could be.
It's really, really dense. I mean, it is solid. I'm impressed. I mean, meteorites are solid and dense and heavy to begin with, but this one, I can feel
okay,
it.
so right there, right where you're at right now, it looks like if you zoom in on that and get closer, you see all the little like pyramid type stuff you see everywhere? All the, where it's coming in, I think is it called triclinic, I guess? I don't know. Pat, what's the crystallographic term for that when you have a 3 points coming together?
I'm ignorant about that in 3D, but
triple
in
junctions.
2D,
Triple junctions. Thank
called
you. Thank you. Yep, triple junctions. Yep, triple junctions. So anyway, you can really see it visibly on that, which leads me to believe that they were probably correct in their assumption that it's a.
Explain to me where you're seeing this triple junction.
Like, God, it's hard.
Well, I know. I'm gonna point with this. You tell me up or down.
Yeah. So like anywhere you see a point, like right up a little bit, up, right there, like down, right there.
Like that thing.
Forward a little bit. Yeah, anywhere. Yeah, right there. Like that kind of little, what to me looks like almost like a Star Trek thing. But it's really. It's almost like it pops into view for a moment, and you almost have to pull your field of view back to see it. And whenever I go to look for them exactly, they kind of seem to blend in.
Yeah, I just got this today, so I'm going to put it under the microscope later. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, you'll know immediately once you cut it. It's those Ureilite and Brachyonite and those type of textures are really, you know, they're typically really easy to spot because they have that, you know, really big grain size, and the boundaries are real obvious, and they kind of shimmer a lot sometimes.
I'm just enjoying having a new one in my hand, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it ain't about the size all the time. Just to let you know that I am repping the requirement of top meteorites over here on top of my cabinet. There is your beanie protecting my wood from this 8.4 beast.
Beanie / meteorite cozy.
Yeah. Well, it's freaking Arizona and it's summertime. I'm not going to need it for another 5 months, 6 months. So it might as well do some good. Look at that thing. Call Craig. I got a loaf for him to slice.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't fit in a 10-inch saw. It doesn't fit in a 12-inch saw. So part of the reason it's still there.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is I want to offer really nice, big, full profile slices of it. It's a nice H. It's going to be shiny metal. When Craig gets it on his lap they're going to be beautiful slices.
I think so too.
Yeah, and because you and I partnered so well on it, I'll be able to make those available pretty inexpensively for people because I don't want paper thin slices. I want people to have a sizable, big old wafer. You know, you can eat meatloaf off the damn thing.
Yeah, it's affordable. I'll probably buy one off of you.
Well, the prices went up. Pat, you got something you want to show off, or am I putting you on the spot?
Yes, I think I'm about showed off out.
I went through my new box of arrivals. I know.
Well,
Oh,
we
there
were
you go.
talking about,
Having fun.
we were talking about chondrites and achondrites, and it even actually fits in with the triple junction thing too. So chondrites are undifferentiated meteorites in that they're in their original, the little small bits and pieces are in their original condition. So they're full of chondrules, and so those are chondrites. The achondrites have, in a bulk sense, the same composition, but in a micro sense, in a small rock, they're differentiated. They've completely melted, and just like the Earth is differentiated, all of the iron ran to the center for the core. And if you could dig a hole deep enough and grab a sample of that, it'd be essentially the same metallic content as Gibeon or any of the big nickel iron meteorites. But the silicate materials can float at the top. And when you have those silicate materials molten, and then they crystallize with their like materials, just like granite, you wind up with triple junctions where you have three grains that come together and make that triple junction point. And thanks, Dustin. I haven't ever really seen that or thought about that in 3D, but it's those little pyramidal sort of shapes.
Yeah, and for these, and for the primitive achondrites, it's probably some kind of a pseudo version of that, because what I think's happening is you're having these like, and I could be wrong because it's but as I understand, it's like a partial melting and recrystallization of these larger chondral structures. And so these bigger grains are sort of established, and then and the same effect occurs with these larger grain sizes with a little bit of elongation happening, and then that creates that triple junction effect as well. Because but again, I've still, and maybe somebody else understands this a little better and can explain it, because it's an assumption on my part, but because I've seen lots and lots and lots of different primitive achondrites, and they all tend to have very similar textures and similar grain sizes, and the way that the boundaries and the way that they kind of the way the grains interact with each other, and so I always assumed that it was because they're an intermediate sort of a thing, that was remnant chondritic structure that was still resident. But then the more I learn about sort of equilibration and the way that these minerals are migrating, and then how just totally olivine rich a lot of these like Ureilites are and things, it starts and like so olivine rich that they're like even more olivine rich than most of the chondrites. But it kind of makes me wonder if this isn't just a total migration and recrystallization of a partial melt that's sort of, which would then sort of lean more in the direction of what you were saying, is that those triple junctions really are coming from more of a recrystallization, even if it's partial or whatever. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, well, I was
differentiation is a spectrum too. There's all the way from fully differentiated to partially differentiated. And so these smaller bodies, like your metal-rich Acapulcoites or
Winonites,
whatever they were, Winonaite, sorry, that's differentiation in a smaller area. Yeah, and Dustin, you're exactly right. There's a whole spectrum.
Yeah, but it's not even. But it's technically, they would say it's not different. I mean, like in the greater taxonomy, you would describe a Winonaite as not being differentiated, as being intermediate, an intermediate stage. I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
And you can think about, in terms of a small area being differentiated across a small area, or undifferentiated or much larger areas.
Yeah, they're still pretty much chondritic in composition is kind of the thing, which is what makes them the primitive achondrites. Like Dustin's saying, overall, you know, there's no chondrules left, you know, but there's the same composition, just recrystallized.
Most of the time.
Right.
Every so often you see a relic.
In our belief,
it's kind of far out.
yeah, our belief is that most of that material started out as chondrites and then was processed through heat, pressure, etc., to form the achondrites.
Yeah, and that brings up a good debate of how much material goes through a classification in order to get it, because you'll get some pieces that have relic chondrules in it, and they'll say, "Oh, well, that's a 7 on the chondrite side of the house, and the other side of the rock is a primitive achondrite Winonaite." You know?
Yeah, right, or ungrouped.
Yeah, and you end up with you know, for a while there was that one pairing where it was like
I remember that
achondrite primitive and like CR7. You know, and it's like, this is paired to another one. They're paired, but they're one's a chondrite and one's an achondrite.
Totally, yeah, exactly. But like Pat was saying, is it's totally that spectrum of, you know, 3.00 all the way to like, you know, weird Vesta or Mars or, you know, Earth even, I guess, really. You know, and then ridiculous secondary processing after that. For some.
Exactly, and leading into that, here's that one that they originally called it a, I don't know, Acapulcoite or something like that.
Right.
And eventually wound up being an EL3. It's
Haggounia 001. Yeah. It was an Albright. It was an Albright, actually.
Yeah,
it was
Albright.
Yeah, I wrote an article about that, actually.
Yeah, there have been a couple of good articles written about it. And so this is a piece that, you know, on the outside in some areas is really quite weathered. And it was one of my first sawing expeditions that wound up with lots and lots of little parts. But this one was actually big enough and wasn't lying completely in the super saline dry lake bed that wasn't so dry.
You can see some
but this actually has some of the blue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to hear a funny story? You have time for a little quickie story about that stuff?
Of course.
Sure.
But it's like, it's a secret. So sorry, Sean Tedrow. But whatever. It's kind of known now a little bit. But when I first got into this, a lot of, like, not a lot, but at least a number of people, I never did it, would just buy that stuff and then do exactly what you're saying, cut it up and then cut the sweet spots out and then send it in, and it would, you know, EL3, EH3, just depends on what random part, because you know, there's all kinds of weird migration of the metals and different weathering things, and you know, not all these classifiers are always as, you know, as like drilled down and are as maybe as, you know, as diligent as others in terms of, you know, things. And so, you know, over the years, I think I know one person that had like Haggounia 001 classified as like 4 different meteorites, all different classifications.
Yes. Yeah, and even this stuff that shows. Let's see. Can you put me on again, Topher?
You're on. Yeah.
So even this stuff that shows some of the nice blue stuff, which is where they found the chondrules and eventually called it an EH3. But the brown here is from terrestrial weathering. These are caliche veins, and I don't know what I did with my UV flashlight. I don't have one in hand, but they will fluoresce because of their caliche. And again, there's that word caliche used in a generic sense of local soil, clay sort of soil that sticks to the rock. But so, you know, even just in one slice, you can see the effect of that terrestrial weathering. And they think this one has a terrestrial age of 10,000 plus years.
Yeah,
I've never heard anybody
call it a
put that
paleo
number.
Yeah, I've heard a few papers call it a paleo meteorite.
Yeah, and one of the variabilities is that it was found over a fairly large area. Some of it was at a lower elevation and sitting in this super saline dry lake bed.
That's pretty.
That is pretty.
that the same stuff?
Yeah, it's been sitting around there long enough to get incorporated into the limestone in the area.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say, is that it's actually gone almost metamorphic, sort of, and there's some like some aggregation.
Yeah, it shows a sedimentary clast in some of the limestone. Those are the really cool pieces if you ever find them on the market. You don't see that very often, but whether it's a piece of Haggounia like stuck in the limestone matrix.
Yeah, bro.
Wow. Yeah, the bulk material itself, has been weathered to the point where it acts a lot like sandstone. It's very hard to lap.
Being a subtype collector, that's been a pain in the butt one, because I had my my EL whatever it was 3 or whatever, and then it became a melt.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go find another EL3.
Thank you, Alan Rubin. No, but actually, thank you, Alan Rubin, for finally clearing that up.
Well, I think they both of the major classifiers agreed for years that seeing more and more of that material, that it wasn't the same. It just took the Met Bowl forever to update.
I thought so too, but I could be wrong about this, and pardon me for speaking out of my behind. But based on just the way I know how it all works, is that I think those guys may have said that, but never ever did the work and reclassified it and like submitted it properly. And it was only until 2015 or 16 when Dr. Alan Rubin actually did the full thing and submitted the write-up properly, and Met Bowl voted on the adjustment. And I think the other one was more like, hey, you guys should change this because it's wrong, and we know it's this. And they may have even written it in articles and papers, but I don't think they ever formally submitted it. But I could be completely, totally 100% wrong on that. But I don't know why Alan would all of a sudden get it, and then other than he may, it's pretty respected dude. And they're kind of like, you guys called it an Albright first, so we're not taking your word for it.
That's one of those tricky ones too, that, like I said, there's so many parents out there. That's one of the few times I've ever gotten caught, and I'm like, I bought something, and like 5 minutes after, I'm just like, I already got that.
Yeah.
I already got that as something else.
It's not all as Haggounia 001.
Yeah, it is. The NWA number is the one that got me.
7401.
29.
Yeah, 7401, I think, is the exact same thing. It has the same teal blue interior when you're lucky.
Think it's probably somewhere on the order of around 20 or 40 different numbers that probably correspond to it. It's been around for a long time.
The only one that has anywhere near that many different classifications for the same rock is NWA 869.
Yeah.
I just found out from Jason Utas at Tucson this year that Sahara 02500 is also the same thing as 869.
Yeah, but you can sell it for more. Because everyone has 869, but do you have? Sorry.
I know. Oh man, I don't know. That's why I always was a little nervous about classifying the golden Pallasite, because it's such a beautiful name, and nobody, as soon as you put NWA on it, it's like,
no. Well, I have my NWA Pallasite getting classified right now, and it's going to be an NWA number, but it would be really nice if there was some mention of some golden patina somewhere. Just write it once.
You got to tell them flat out in the notes or the history that this is also well known as, if it is the golden Pallasite, as the golden Pallasite. And because they have a little alias section in there for it, but they don't use it hardly ever, and I suspect that's more than anything because nobody submits it.
Yeah, well, I will. And another thing that Daniel Shake at FSU said with new presentations to the Met Bowl is they're requesting photos at the time of submission, which I'm all in favor of. There should be, if you're the main mass holder and you're submitting something, why not submit a picture forever and it'll be tied to that?
Totally. Well, yeah, it just kind of holds a little, it kind of keeps it a little more real too. you know, I think it's just one more real world verification. I mean, that seriously can get a little abstract when the researcher is getting a bunch of like sort of random crumbs and then, you know, a probe mount. Then they're looking at it and they don't look at it again, and they've gone through 30 or 40 and then, you know, whatever in the week. And then, cause that's their job, and it's not nothing like that's exactly how it's got to be done. And then you're just looking at data after that.
Yeah.
And all the class, you know, I mean, you do one or two optical quick things, but you know, anyway, it's easy to get a really skewed sampling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess is what I'm.
Absolutely, and along those lines, this is the first one that I've ever turned in for classification myself. But this, I hope for it to be. I hope for it to be a LL3 point something.
Ooh, yeah.
But the slice and the whole mass is 700 and some odd grams.
Nice.
But as I was slicing it and preparing a sample and then a piece to make thin section out of, there's a lot of variability in the stuff, and you can see, you know, it looks nicer on that side, but there's some weathering here, and so to go for 3.10, 3.15, what have you, you know, you look at the chromite migration, and you obviously don't want any terrestrial alteration that would have caused migration of the chromite. And so I couldn't make up my mind off of the slices that I was getting off the rock, and it was such that the slices, this one actually broke, but it was a little bigger, about like that. And so, you know, I couldn't make up my mind, and so I sent the whole piece. And when it came to making the thin section to go into the microprobe to do the chromite work, I paid for a second thin section, and I'll eventually get that one back. But that way Daniel will have that much more material to go hunting through. And this one wasn't really terribly homogeneous. Some of the chondrules are nice and round, and not much matrix at all between them. But then there was another section of the slice that I sent where the chondrules were distorted in shape. I don't know, compacting when they were still molten. I don't know an explanation, but you know, it definitely had a different look. And so in order to give him the best possible options for looking at the thing, I had two thin sections made, and one is in that compressed chondrule area, and the other one is where the chondrules are more round. And who else was I talking about this? Talking to somebody else not that long ago, but it was Stephen Amara, about, you know, instead of, you know, for the type sample and the classification stuff, you know, kind of trimming around the edges and that kind of stuff. No, you want to trim right through the middle and get the very best of the stuff. Yeah. And if there's two kinds of stuff, you want both kinds of stuff in the type sample and in the thin section.
Right through your hopeful $500 a gram stone.
Yeah. But I think Pat had the most unique, and it may be old hat, but he had the most unique idea of getting a sample from an oriented stone without cutting it. Take it away, Pat.
I have, well, the camera's not handy to carry downstairs, and meteorite's a little bit heavy, but it's a triangular meteorite that is, you know, roughly a foot on a corner, and then it's sort of a pyramidal shape. Okay. And it was actually found in two pieces. There's a cap piece that was found, you know, next to the rest of the stone. And I think it's probably an L4. It's not something super exotic, but you know. But what I'm going to do is core the big body, and then stick a screwdriver down in there, bust the core off, And if I use a 1-inch coring bit, then hey, you can make your 1-inch thin sections out of this real easy. And then I got the Paleobond super duper kit, and I'm gonna glue that piece back on and with wax or something.
And then send it to Bob Mackey to do volumetric density tests on it. To mess with it.
The numbers come back all like, what the hell?
Just kidding, Bob. I love you, brother. I just kidding.
Yeah, like a cork's bat.
But even a 1-inch diameter borer that's an inch long or something is not going to make a whole lot of difference, because the thing is 14 kilos or thereabouts. So
yeah.
But it's a very attractive meteorite, and it would be a bummer to cut a corner off of it. But yeah, Topher liked that idea.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty ingenious, because like, how else are you gonna do it?
Hey, I have some of that of your Pallasite to show off.
Yeah, man.
This is a little end cut, but it's awesome because how many end cuts, that, well, I don't know if you can see it. It's like probably, but
there you go.
Is it? Hold on. Whatever. That's like
that's an end cut?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's that's that crystal, just like,
that is wild.
I know, tempting to just like pop it out and facet it. But it's beautiful anyway. I thought, yeah, it's going to be good on you guys, smart for classifying it. It needs to be done.
But that could be a cool one too, Dustin. I thought about this a couple times, to make up a small thin LED light and kind of glue that to the back of the thing and use one of the little coin batteries, and then put a bail on it and have it be a necklace and have the outside side clicking out, and then you can some of the things with capacitive touch, you can make it turn it on, and how elegant is that? You go to some black tie, and here's your lady in her little black dress with this Pallasite, and touches it,
glowing, yeah, absolutely,
glows through the crystal.
That would be beautiful. Actually really super trendy, hip too. There's a lot of new technology. Wow, that's gorgeous. Being incorporated into now.
Look at that.
That is gorgeous. What a pretty piece.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Just awesome looking.
And this is
bring
not
up
even
that song and
this isn't even in sunlight, man.
No, right? Yeah, that is just really is a gorgeous Pallasite.
So I don't know if this qualifies for golden Pallasite or not.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I would say it does. But whatever. That's just my take on it. It all seems to be the same stuff. Pallasites usually come in hundreds of tons, not like 5 kilos or 20 kilos usually, and I've been seeing it for a long time, and there's a big wave of like this super crazy looking stuff that had crystals like, like the size of silver dollars and stuff going through them that were just elongated, and you'd hold them up to the sun and they were, Mark, I took transfer one for Mark, actually, that was like that. And 95% of them ended up in China, as far as I understand. We never even saw them. They were like going out of the desert at $35 and $40 a gram.
Wow.
Yeah. And then,
and
they were cool. They had that like totally Ureilite or whatever. It is just that perfectly, rounded. Looked like it was like a 1920s sculpture.
Yeah. Yeah, Art Deco style.
Art Deco, yeah, exactly. And like Botero stuff. Yeah. And then you'd have this weird shrapnel, and you'd think, oh, it's shrapnel, but then inside the shrapnel were windows that were natural, and it was just, anyway. those sometimes, like those, the pieces I've seen now seem to be coming out of like another section of the strewn field. But sometimes you see them, but it's entirely possible that they have nothing to do with each other. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, they seem pretty similar. They have the color, the giant crystals.
Well, I actually, this is a different one than we're getting classified. This one came out of Niger. So I'm going to find out exactly where the new stuff.
That's where the golden comes from, is Niger.
Okay, that's what I was hoping and expecting. Yeah.
The triangle of death, as they call it, right on the border of Algeria and Niger and wherever the other part is.
Yeah. All right. Anyone have something to? I don't even know what time it is. We've been going about 2 hours. Anyone have anything they want to show off? I think that is a really good. What's that?
I don't think Dustin got a chance to see my shrapnel.
Oh, far out. Where's that from?
Oh, yeah.
One of the dry lake beds in Nevada that gets used as a emergency landing site, or in this case, an emergency crashing site. I was out there years and years ago and found all sorts of this stuff, including a bunch of it in titanium. This is aluminum.
Okay.
Aircraft grade aluminum. And on one of the dry lake beds, I was walking around, and of course, electronic engineers, I'm very used to seeing electronic parts, but you know, I got my brain all tuned looking for rusty red and such. And I'm walking along, and here I come across this, which is a piezoelectric crystal for frequency control for radio.
Wow.
And then on the same dry lake bed as this, I find this, which is an aircraft. It's not the main tag from the aircraft.
I don't have to tag.
But it is, yeah, it's a tag. This is a major modification on a A8U1, I think. No, F8U1. So one of the old fighter jets. And I actually did the homework and found that one of these F8 modified U1 aircraft did go down in this area.
Oh wow!
Wow.
The fellow was flying it punched out and lived.
My next question.
And he lives in. I got his telephone number, but I wasn't quite brave enough to call him. But he had to be in his 80s, late 80s, early 90s. But to find, you know, not just a hunk of metal, but to find a documentable tag.
I couldn't even
aircraft.
imagine that old guy, if you visited him and showed him a hunk of the plane that he had to bail out of and say like, that's freaking cool, man. Like that old guy, I mean,
collecting it now.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt to this day he remembers, you know, pulling that and the blast and that's a life story he's relived and retold and stuff. And you actually have shrapnel and proof from that, you know, 40 years ago, maybe longer.
Yeah, it's longer ago than that. It was that aircraft was lost, I think, in 1962.
Jesus, that is so cool. Wow. Yeah, so on these Hangouts, we like to talk about a little bit of everything space related. This was meteorite hunting related. One of these days, I'd like to get Roberto to talk about his other hobbies. He has a arachnid, and I don't even know what else he has, but he's got some freaky stuff. I'm blanking out now. I believe it's Christian, who is an accomplished botanist when it comes to bonsai trees.
Ooh.
Am I remembering you correctly, Christian? Is that you?
That would be correct. Yes. I've
Awesome.
been, you know, an enthusiast, an aficionado of bonsai for the last 15 years. And that's pretty much half my life now. I've had some trees for that long and
Wow.
water them sometimes up to twice per day when they need it, like in the summer, you know, so.
So that kind of leads me into a little question that I want to offer to the group. Think about it. Give me some comments on YouTube and on Facebook, and we're going to shut down for the night. But should we open these things up and also include other people's hobbies as far as meteorite collectors, and instead of having a guest speaker once a week, we'll just focus on one person and they can have, you know, 20-25 minutes to show us their hobby, their collection that is not meteorite, or maybe it is space related, space junk related, or anything else. You guys think about that? Give me some feedback. That way it's you know, we're the meteorite crew, but we're also a community of friends as well. So I think that'd be something that I think we'd all enjoy. But I'm open to your feedback. That will bring tonight to a close. I really appreciate everyone showing up online live with us right now. I definitely appreciate everyone's involvement. We had another good show and tell, and some knowledge was shared. Visit me on Facebook, on YouTube. We had top meteorites in the house. We also saw a bunch of stuff from Streaming Meteorites, Matt Stream's company today. So thanks all for joining. We appreciate it. Have a nice night, guys.
Have a good night.
Happy trails.
Take care, guys.
Later.